This one's going to be a bit of a tough sell, I think. Hello and welcome back to another video here in the LEGO Room. I hope you are well. Today is a very exciting day. We have the first 3 LEGO licensed images for the LEGO Star Wars sets coming out on January the 1st, 2026. And that means we're probably going to get a few more over the next couple of weeks. So you'll probably see a couple more of these videos from me when we do get all of the images. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you keep it here for LEGO Star Wars over the next couple of months. We've got tons going on in this space, and I'll tell you how you can win this as well at the very end of the video. Drop a like on the video before we dive right into it, because there's some very cool stuff in the lineup as we can see so far. Let's start off with the most expensive set of the 3, which is set number 75452, and this is the buildable BB-8. And I know what you're thinking, we had a buildable BB-8 not that long ago, but as I spoke about in the previous video when we talked about everything that's coming in 2026 that we know of so far, I expected them to at some point uniform the BB-8 with the other R2-D2 and the C-3PO and everything else that has the same black stand with the little figure and is in scale with the R2-D2 and the C-3PO. I expected these to be uniformed, and BB-8 is no exception to that. It is going to come in at $90 US, and that will be £80 here in the UK, and only 569 pieces for this BB-8, so not terrific value for money. Again, like I always say, I'm kind of steering away from using price per piece because it's not the be all and end all, and it certainly is kind of out of the window at this point with the inflation in prices of LEGO sets. It's about the eye test. Is this set worth £80, or is it worth waiting to pick up on sale? I haven't quite made that decision myself. As somebody who had the buildable BB-8 back in 2018 as well, I'm not entirely sold on this just yet at £80. I may well get it, and the part of me that has all of the droids off to the side of camera there, trying not to break too much eye contact, is wanting to add BB-8 to that lineup with a little stand with the tiny BB-8 figure that you get in there as well. So one that I might pick up on day one, and one that I might pick up in sale. The next setup is one that is possibly ever so slightly overpriced, but one that I will definitely be picking up and probably be picking up on January the 1st, and that is the finally mid-scale Venator. Set number 75441 will clock in at £70 here in the UK, or $80 US, 643 pieces. Again, price per piece out of the window. The mid-scale Venator, it looks pretty good. I've got to say, I think it looks pretty clean. I think they've done a pretty good job with it, and I quite like the little touch on the side. You can see the sort of blue shield ray entrance on the very side of the Venator. I think that's a pretty nice touch. So yeah, I like it. I do really like it. I did fear at one point that we weren't going to get a Venator, and I think I spoke about this probably about a year or so ago. We weren't going to get a Venator, knowing that we were getting an Acclamator in 2025. And I am pretty pleased with that. I think it looks fantastic to begin with. But I'm curious as to how it will affect the sales of the Venator, and indeed vice versa. This is only £45 and has been on sale once or twice with retailers here in the UK, and I imagine out in America as well. So I'll be sort of interested to see how that affects things, because I think for casual fans, they'll probably buy one or the other, and probably will buy the cheaper one and the one that has been on sale more often. For the more hardcore fans, I can't wait to get hold of a Venator, and I kind of thought we might have to wait a couple more years to get hold of one, and really curious that it's not on the Revenge of the Sith anniversary, as it would have been if they released it this year in 2025. So a lot of little curiosities with that, and I think only time will tell as to how the sales are affected for both this and the mid-scale Venator. But yeah, one I wanted, one that I did a video in the middle of 2024 saying what is next for the mid-scale collection after we got those 3 ships in March, and I spoke about Venator because it was the obvious choice, and kind of thought that we were never going to get there, and it looks like we will finally now on January the 1st be getting a Venator at £70, so one that I'll probably pick up on day one. The final setup for today is set number 75440, and this is a buildable mid-scale AT-AT, and again, price per piece kind of out of the window once again. I almost think maybe in a year's time I won't even be mentioning price per piece, because I've done a few videos over the last year or two about where we're going with it, and it's kind of not really there anymore. Yeah, you can go check those videos out if you want to. 525 pieces in this set. It comes in at $65 US or £60 here in the UK. Things to note in this particular one, it's got a all black floor to it, as opposed to, you see with the mid-scale ships where they've got that black stand, and this is just a black floor, which I find really interesting, because could they've done a snow based floor? Interesting thought, not entirely sure. The argument, of course, could be made that with it coming up in the Mando movie, and it being in a couple of other sort of bits and pieces as well, it doesn't necessarily need to have a snow floor, but I think we all naturally sort of think of Hoth when we think of the AT-AT and having a snow sort of underneath it. So could it have had a snow floor? And the counter argument, of course, to that is the fact that it has, as you can probably already see in the images, a snow speeder wrapping its legs as it goes. So yeah, I really like the look of this. Do I want to pay £60 on day one for this when I have other AT-ATs? And you know, I was blown away with the AT-ST this year as well. I'm trying to look and see if I can see it in shot, but I think it's just above me. Do I want to pay £60 for this mid-scale AT-AT, knowing that these mid-scale ships always seem to end up on sale throughout the year? I have not seen any of them not go on sale at any point. So I'm curious as to whether or not I feel the need to pay full price for this on day one. I would suspect that this will be one that I'll pick up on sale further down the line in 2026. I think something really important to remember as well as we move into this new period, particularly in January as well, where money can be quite tight for a lot of people, and there is a lot of Lego coming out, over 100, I think over 130 sets in different themes on January the 1st, and please do budget responsibly and think about responsibly what you want to do with your money. But important thing to remember as well with some of these sets is that there is a 2-month period by which any sort of retailer that stocks Lego cannot put it out on sale. Sometimes they do break it and it goes sort of 10% off for different varying reasons, but at the 2-month point, retailers can make them 20% off, and we have seen that more recently over the last 2 years. I would say that a lot of retailers, after this sort of 2-month period, be it on March the 1st or at the very start of March, or definitely moving into May 4th, the retailers do tend to put these sets on sale for anywhere near 20% off, and there doesn't need to necessarily be a reason for that. Sometimes you will just see listed on Amazon 20% off of a certain set. So yeah, really important to notice, particularly if you're budgeting at this time of year, because it is a quite challenging time of year financially for a lot of people. I think it's something to definitely be aware of, particularly if these are sets that you don't necessarily think you need to have it. You don't look at it and go, I need that on day one. I think it's something super important to remember. It's something that I, making content around all this sort of stuff, and obviously covering stuff on Whatnot as well, do, and I am not going to be buying everything. I certainly won't be buying everything from every theme, and I certainly won't be buying everything from the themes that you see a lot of here on the channel. So I think it is something to bear in mind, that not everything is a must buy on day one. And I'm sure you'll hear me talk about that as we get the new images of the rest of the sets over the next sort of couple of weeks for Lego Star Wars. I've already done a video about everything coming for Lego Harry Potter and all the images we have for that. You can go and check that out after this video if that interests you. You probably clocked the X-Wing as well in the very corner of the screen. We have got a charity stream going on Whatnot for a kids charity at the very end of the week. On Friday the 5th of December, we're doing a charity stream for the Life Play Foundation. I've done a video up on YouTube all about it. Go and check that video out. It has all the information in there, how you can get involved, where the money's going, all that type of stuff. That is one of the giveaways that we'll be doing to those who donate or tip through the stream to the charity. We're going to give away that X-Wing. We've also got a couple of surprise giveaways along the way as well, and I'll tell you in that video about what we're actually giving away to potential buyers at the end of the night. Do get involved. Go and check that video out after this video, which means I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the very next video. Bye.